A startup nobody's ever heard of just hit $100 million in annual revenue. Over 2 million people bought their product, yet ask anyone on the street about Plaud and you get a blank stare. This company's become a multi-billion-dollar business in the shadows while everyone watched ChatGPT and other headline AI. Here's what they make: a small device that records meetings, transcribes them with AI, and stores everything in the cloud. That's honestly it. But simplicity is the killer feature, and Plaud nailed it. They didn't need massive marketing or celebrity endorsements. They just solved a real problem. Most of us miss crucial details in conversations. Having an AI transcript changes how you work with others, remember commitments, and catch things you actually said versus what you thought you said. The company's core insight was clever. Mobile phones are everywhere, but people don't trust recording on them for serious business conversations. A dedicated device feels more professional, more intentional, more trustworthy. 2 million people agreed. But here's why this number matters. $100 million in annual recurring revenue isn't just impressive, it's a signal. The AI device market isn't theoretical anymore. It's massive. Small, laser-focused startups can build billion-dollar companies by doing one thing incredibly well. It means the AI revolution isn't just on your laptop or smartphone. It's happening in every meeting room, classroom, and boardroom on the planet. Here's what's about to change. Meet Plaud. They're a Chinese AI hardware startup that launched their flagship recorder just a few years ago. They spotted a gap in the market that nobody else had properly addressed. Professionals needed better ways to record and transcribe meetings, but solutions on the market were clunky, expensive, or just didn't work that well. Before Plaud, your options were terrible. You could use your phone, but that felt informal and unprofessional. You could buy expensive transcription software that required constant setup, or you could hire someone to take notes, which doesn't scale. Plaud came in and said, "What if we made a device specifically built for this one job, recording and transcribing meetings with AI, and made it so simple that anyone could use it?" The market was ready. Remote work exploded. Hybrid meetings became the norm. Suddenly, everyone needed an accurate record of what was discussed. Sales teams needed to track customer conversations. Legal teams needed documentation. Customer support wanted to improve their interactions. Researchers needed precise quotes. The demand was there waiting, and Plaud tapped into something else too: trust. In an era where people worry about privacy and data collection, a dedicated device that does one thing felt more trustworthy than a software app that might collect who knows what. It's a focused tool for a focused job. The result: they went from 0 to over 2 million devices shipped. That's not a niche product. That's mainstream adoption happening quietly, and that's when everything shifted. So here's what Plaud actually does technically. You pull out a device about the size of a deck of cards. Press record. It listens to every word while AI processes audio to text in real time, storing everything in the cloud simultaneously. But it's far more sophisticated than just raw transcription. The device uses advanced AI models. Think of it like having a professional transcriber and dedicated editor combined in one system. It identifies who's speaking, timestamps critical moments, and automatically pulls out action items. Someone says we need to follow up on the budget by Friday. Plaud catches and highlights that immediately. The magic lies in processing power. These AI models are trained on thousands of hours of real business conversations. They understand context, catch technical jargon, distinguish questions from statements. Regular voice-to-text fails here. Plaud nails it. And here's what makes professionals trust it over their phone app. The device works completely offline. Internet dies. It keeps recording and syncs when connection returns. That independence from live internet is exactly why business users prefer it. The device connects to a cloud platform where you search transcripts, share them, analyze trends. It transforms raw audio into searchable, shareable, and actionable intelligence. That's the whole platform philosophy. This is where the business model gets interesting. Who's using Plaud? Everyone. Sales teams use it to review customer calls. They catch objections they missed live, track what deals hinged on, identify winning conversation patterns. Instead of taking notes during a crucial pitch, the salesperson focuses completely on the customer. Plaud handles the documentation. Lawyers use it in client meetings. They get word-for-word transcripts instantly, with timestamps for when key points were discussed. That's invaluable for contracts, disputes, and record keeping. No more ambiguity about who said what when. Researchers use it for interviews and focus groups. They sit with subjects without worrying about transcription afterward. Plaud gives them exact quotes, lets them focus on follow-up questions, and makes publishing findings faster. HR departments use it for performance reviews and training sessions. Teachers use it to review class discussions and catch what students struggled with. Podcasters and content creators use it to generate show notes without hiring editors. The common thread across all these professions: when you stop taking notes, you start paying attention, you catch subtext, you read body language, you respond better. The device handles the boring clerical work while humans do the actual thinking. And that's precisely why the subscription model works. So why didn't Apple, Google, or Amazon dominate this space? Everyone asks this question. These companies could have built a better Plaud overnight, right? Actually, no. That's exactly the wrong assumption. Here's the reality. Big tech companies are bad at small markets. The AI Notetaker business might hit a few $1 billion globally. That's peanuts for Apple. It's not worth their executive attention, their engineering resources, or their supply chain complexity. Plaud thrived because they were laser-focused. They made one product and made it perfect. They iterated obsessively based on user feedback. They weren't distracted by trying to turn it into a phone, a smartwatch, or a car. There's also the trust factor. Plaud is independent. It's not connected to a surveillance-heavy advertising platform. For professionals who worry about data privacy, especially in regulated industries like law and healthcare, a standalone device feels safer than relying on Google or Apple. Then there's timing. Plaud came in when the demand was enormous but still underserved. Remote work created urgency. AI transcription had finally gotten good enough. Cloud storage was cheap. The stars aligned. And here's the brutal truth. For Apple to own this market, they'd have to cannibalize iPhone sales. People would record on a Plaud instead of recording on their phone. The incentive structure doesn't work out for them. Plaud won because they understood what big tech companies missed. $100 million in annual recurring revenue is massive. But what does it really signal? Here's the bigger picture. Hardware startups can actually build sustainable software businesses. For decades, the startup playbook was either build software or build hardware, never mix them. Software scaled. Hardware was capital-intensive and complex, but Plaud cracked something: hardware as a doorway to software. They sold 2 million devices. Now they own those relationships forever. Every user is paying a subscription. That's recurring revenue, predictable, valuable, compounding. As AI models improve, as new features launch, as integration options expand, the software value compounds while the hardware cost is already sunk. This changes the entire venture capital playbook. It means that unsexy, focused hardware tools might actually be undervalued. Everyone's chasing moonshots and trillion-dollar outcomes. Plaud proved you can build a substantial, cash-flowing business by solving one real problem perfectly. It also signals that the AI revolution isn't just happening in San Francisco labs. It's happening in devices you carry. It's happening in physical tools. It's not abstract, it's tangible. For the wider tech industry, this is a wake-up call. Regions like Asia are producing focused, efficient founders who iterate fast and ignore hype. They build real products people actually want to pay for. The game's changing. This is the moment the venture capital world wakes up. Here's what every AI startup founder should learn from Plaud's playbook. First lesson: solve one problem exceptionally. Plaud didn't try to be a full suite of productivity tools. They said, AI meeting transcription. That's it, they won. Second lesson: hardware plus software is a moat. Once someone owns your meeting recordings, they own your data. Switching costs get high. That's why recurring revenue is guaranteed. You can't just copy the device. You have to earn back the relationship. Third lesson: distribution beats hype. Plaud didn't get headlines like ChatGPT did. They just showed up quietly, made something useful, and let word of mouth spread. 2 million devices shipped because people told friends it actually works. Fourth lesson: your business model matters more than your tech. Plaud's underlying AI transcription isn't revolutionary. The transcription tech is honestly commodity at this point. But the distribution model, hardware device pushing recurring software revenue, that's the genius. Fifth lesson: timing. Plaud hit the market when remote work was exploding, when privacy concerns were rising, and when AI transcription quality crossed the good enough threshold. Being great at the wrong time is the same as being mediocre. Think about that. A company built on commoditized AI technology hit $100 million because they understood distribution, timing, and focusing deeply on one customer problem. Now here's where the real story starts. So here's what you should take away from Plaud hitting $100 million in annual revenue. This isn't just a hardware company doing well. It's proof that the AI revolution isn't some distant future. It's already here. It's already embedded in the devices in your pocket and on your desk. Plaud made 2 million people dependent on their product. Those people recommend it to friends. Those friends buy devices. That's sustainable growth built on something real and useful. It's the opposite of hype. The broader implication: focused startups that solve specific problems beat everything else. The ones obsessing over monthly active users and viral metrics lose. The ones solving actual problems that professionals will pay for, those companies win. Plaud proves that formula works at scale. Watch for more companies like this emerging. Expect hardware-software hybrids. Expect boring, practical solutions getting venture funding. Expect the unsexy winners to outpace the flashy ones. Here's what this means for you. If you're building something, get obsessed with solving one customer problem perfectly. Ignore everything else. Make it so useful that people happily subscribe. Plaud's Playbook is the blueprint for sustainable AI businesses in 2026 and beyond. That's your AI headline. Plaud went from unknown to $100 million by doing one thing better than anyone else. That focus is the edge. Follow for daily AI news like this. We break down the trends that matter, the companies changing the game, and what they mean for your future.